Our next song is from the musical Nick and Nora.
Oh, someone loves Nick and Nora. Nick and Nora had an all-star creative team. Arthur Lawrence directed and wrote the book, and the score was by Richard Maltby Jr. and Charles Strauss. The cast included Joanna Gleason, Barry Bostwick, Christine Baranski, Deborah Monk, Faith Prince, Chris Sarandon, and a slew of other great actors, including Riley, the dog, as Asta, Nick and Nora's famed canine companion.
There was like amazing people like Deborah Monk, Joanna Gleason,
yeah,
and then the dog gets the reaction. The 1991 musical was based on Nick and Nora Charles of the glamorous old MGM movies.
Yes, that's right.
Very glamorous. These movies were juicy mysteries mixed with what in 1934 was beginning to emerge as screwball comedy.
As Frank Rich said, this show will no doubt always be remembered, and not without fondness, for its troubled preview period, its much-postponed opening, its hassles with snooping journalists, and its conflict with the city's Consumer Affairs Commissioner. Indeed, the story of Nick and Nora in previews, should it ever be fully known, might in itself make for a riotous 1930s-style screwball comedy musical.
Nearly 100,000 customers paid full price to see the show during its 9 weeks of previews before it opened, and closed a week later. In solving the what went wrong mystery of the show, many have pointed to the fact that the score was cut up into scenes, bits, and tags, so the largely agreeable music never got a chance to land. And others blame the mere fact of previewing an in-development show in front of New York audiences.
Faith Prince played the role of the murder victim, who appeared in different characters' conflicting flashbacks throughout the show. Rich said we can look forward to hearing a lot more from this lady, which is crazy because they did. Another supporting actress, Josie de Guzman, was actually fired during previews. An anonymous cast member told The Times her dismissal was a case of finding a scapegoat for everything in the production that was going wrong. And another company member, who also insisted on anonymity, added, "The number still stinks." De Guzman got the last laugh, however, because later that same season, her and Miss Prince, fresh or not so much from Nick and Nora, co-starred as Sarah and Adelaide in Broadway's hit Guys and Dolls revival. Same season.
Success. Things were tense at the theater, and Joanna Gleason and Chris Sarandon were actually having an affair during the course of the show, drama, which cast members told reporters they thought made her onstage relationship with her co-star Barry Bostwick fall flat.
I love how all these anonymous cast members were just talking to Times. Just yeah, like, come backstage to the marquee, we'll tell you everything.
Like, I never want to be in an affair backstage at a Broadway show. The tension was causing everyone to turn on each other, and people were falling over themselves to put in their 2 cents about Nick and Nora.
Amongst the cattiness from the press and cast, Adeline Cohn wrote into the New York Times and said this: regarding the Muddy song from Nick and Nora, which is an article, there are Broadway winners who become megabuck heroes. Why am I reading? You can read it yourself. And there are the losers in modern-day money game of book, lyrics, and song. But Broadway does have financial winners, such as City of Angels, which has paid back its investors and is making a profit now. I do not feel negative should be aired in the streets so that prospective theatergoers think musicals are doomed before opening night, and the investors have been taken for a sleigh ride down the great right way. Living is a risk, but how dull life would be without the risk of another great American musical. Thank you, Adeline. I'm gonna find her on Facebook. She's probably really old.
So she probably doesn't have Facebook.
Or she might.
She could.
In the New York Observer, John Halpern wrote, as Asta, Riley gave the worst performance, I regret to say, that I have ever witnessed from a dog. In fact, the first dog who was cast in the role, who may have been more to his liking, had lost the part when he grew too old after the show was delayed. Following a disastrous workshop where Barry Bostwick was hospitalized with malaria and Richard Maltby Jr. filled in as Nick, and investors declined until further work was done.
Sorry. When the show finally opened on Broadway, it closed after a week. But even the Times admitted, one is struck by how enthusiastically and professionally Maltby and Strauss embrace and conquer the tough technical challenges posed by the score. Our next song was sung by Christine Baranski's character, an old school chum of Nora's, an actress who ends up embroiling Nora in the murder. Here to sing Everybody Wants to Do a Musical is Marla Mindelle.
The papers may hurt me, my 3 fans desert me, but how else will I ever find the chance I need to play the biggest room she'd ever heard to do a musical. To see seems my tessitore quite bizarre. My high C may sometimes shriek, still I hit it twice last week, which proves that I can be a musical star. I get big reviews in the little magazines, but I'm still under the title when my movie hits the screen. Everybody knows that I can act. Acting doesn't get the theaters packed, but this does.